Hey guys, this is Tiggs with Chill Vibes Gaming. Welcome to my channel. In my recent guide video, I talked about my Aalto's build, which supports I use, what echoes I use, but I didn't go into detail on how to actually use and play Aalto. So here's my Aalto how to use and playstyle guide. I'll be going over his kit and the basics, so if you want to go straight to the playstyle and gameplay part, there's a timestamp towards the end. His kit is pretty unique. And at first glance, looking at the descriptions on his talent page, I'm like, what? When I first got Aalto, I had no idea how to use him. I had to turn to Google and YouTube to figure it out. To my surprise, there was not much out there on Aalto. Sure, there were a couple guides on his skills and abilities, but not necessarily showing how to play him and maximize his potential. Most people say that Aalto's damage is underwhelming and, in most tier lists, he rates pretty low. A lot of people call him D tier, but I'm sure many people look at his kit and tried him, didn't use him how you should use him, and assumed his damage potential sucked. That and it might have been too complicated to want to even try to learn. Anyway, I liked his character in the story, and I liked his personality. Plus, he's pretty hot. So I decided to figure it out on my own. I took each talent and tried all of his attacks, skills, liberation, etc. so that I knew exactly what everything did and so that I can use him efficiently in battle. Once I got a grasp of his kit, I started using him in combat and found some playstyle tech that allowed him to defeat enemies just as easily as my GN could. So in order for me to teach you how to use Aalto to his best potential, we must first learn his talent tree, or FORTE is what Wuthering Waves calls it. So let's begin. Let's start with his normal attack. His basic attack combo fires up to 5 consecutive shots. The 4th shot will create a mist, and the 5th shot will deal a lot more damage. Next is his heavy attack. It's freaking useless. Don't even use it. It's so stupid. I don't know what the devs were thinking about the heavy attack. It deals no damage at all. I don't know, maybe in the future they might strengthen heavy attack somehow, or maybe if you get a bunch of echoes that have an increased damage for a heavy attack, it might work, but I don't see that being a thing. Anyway, skip it. Next is his mid-air attack. It's his bread and butter. I think it's his best attack, which gives the highest damage output per second. I think that people that don't know how to use jump shots or mid-air attacks will most likely think that Aalto's damage sucks. The mid-air attack does use up stamina, so use caution when using your mid-air attacks for too long. Although you have one dodge in the air, you don't have a plunging attack. So harder bosses that can one-shot you can usually hit you right after you dodge before you can even hit the floor. His dodge counter gives the highest normal attack damage percentage, so you'll want to counter as much as you can. Dodging also creates a mist. Up next is Aalto's resonance skill. When cast, Aalto dashes backwards, creating a mist and a mist avatar that will taunt enemies. Surprisingly, the clone's taunt will also work on bosses. Also, when casting his resonance skill, 6 mist bullets will shoot out like heat-seeking missiles that won't miss unless you're too far away from the target. One thing to note, be careful when you're trying to run away from an enemy, because casting his skill, he dashes backwards, so you'll end up dashing back into the enemy. Next up is his FORTE circuit. When Aalto passes through the mist, or the Gate of Quandary, which is what we'll get to later on his Resonance Liberation, he enters a mist cloak dash form. Movement speed is increased, and depending on how many bars he has on his FORTE gauge, mist bullets will be released. They don't release all at once, so the longer you are in mist form, the more mist bullets will release. Dodge out of the mist form too soon, you'll still have some bars left and only shoot out as much of the bars that you consumed. Each bar on his FORTE circuit represents a mist drop. Aalto can hold up to 6 mist drops, or mist bullets. Shooting through the mist and hitting an enemy will fill up the FORTE bar, giving you mist bullets. The FORTE bar fills up faster when you're standing and basic attacking. Mid-air attacking through the mist does fill up the bar, but not as fast as when you are standing. Next up, we have his burst, Resonance Liberation. Once cast, Aalto generates a Gate of Quandary. Upon initiating his Resonance Liberation, he'll deal arrow damage once. If you manage to land a crit, it's a lot of damage. If you dash through the Gate of Quandary, you'll enter Mist form. If you shoot through the Gate of Quandary, the bullets will receive a damage buff. Ideally, you want to use your Echo followed by your Liberation, then use your skill and jump attack, dumping as much bullets through the Mist and Gate as possible. The Gate lasts for 10 seconds. Be mindful of your placement. If you're too close to an enemy, they'll just walk through it towards you. For his intro skill, he shoots a couple bullets. For his inherent skills, perfect performance. Aalto's heavy attack will always critically hit, triggering once every 30 seconds. Completely useless. His other inherent skill, mid-game break. Aalto will continuously recover stamina when he is in the Forte circuit Mist Cloak Dash state. This is actually great because you can jump shot all you can, lose your stamina, go into the Mist form, and then get your stamina back. Moving on to the Resonance Chain. As for sequence nodes, like I said in my last video, I had him at S0 and built him as DPS and he was still amazing, so don't feel like you need to get sequence nodes. However, if you love him like I do, you just might want to get him some sequence nodes anyway. The first sequence node, I did go over this on my last video, so I'm just going to run through it real quick and see which ones are actually the best. His best sequence node by far is his third sequence. Every time a bullet passes through his mist, 2 more bullets will be generated, basically turning his pistol into a shotgun. And then shooting through a mist while mid-air attacking and jump shooting, it's a ton of numbers. All the other sequence nodes basically add to his damage. 15% attack increase on the second one, a 30% increase to his mist bullets on the fourth one. He also receives less damage in his Forte circuit Mist Cloak Dash state, but I really think he should just be invulnerable because he's freaking mist. It's like air. The fifth one is also a good damage bonus. While in the Mist Cloak Dash state, his arrow damage bonus is increased by 25% for 6 seconds. I'm wondering, I'm not quite sure, I haven't tested it yet, if you leave the Mist Cloak Dash state early, does that 25% buff still apply to his bullet damage? I mean, they're arrows, so it should, right? And his S6, although giving us an increased crit rate of 8%, the second part of it is completely useless. There's no point in heavy attacking when it takes so long for such little damage. You can get way more damage just by jump shotting / mid-air attacking. Oh, and really quick, I use a 5-piece Sierra Gale for the arrow damage bonus, and when he does his intro, he also gets an arrow damage buff. For his main echo, I use the Phalian Berengal because he deals a ton of arrow damage, and Aalto gets a 12% arrow damage increase. And we won't talk about the second part of the monkey's buffs. I also gave Sanhua the Impermanence Heron, so that when she uses her echo right before using her outro to bring Aalto in, Aalto will gain a 12% damage bonus. As for Aalto's weapon, I use the Static Mist because of the crit rate and energy regen. In my build guide video, I mentioned I also liked having more energy regen so that we can outro faster. I was incorrect in saying that energy regen increases concerto energy, because it totally doesn't. But what happened, or what I meant, was that using your burst fills up a big chunk of your concerto bar, thus allowing you to perform his outro much faster, so that you can break the enemy's shield faster. Sorry for the misinformation and confusion. Like I said in my last video, I don't claim to be an expert on this stuff. I'm still learning about the game, but I'm just sharing how my Aalto is so freaking amazing. So now that we know all about his kit, let's go over his playstyle and how I use him to maximize his potential. To help us showcase Aalto's playstyle, our 3-headed ostrich friend is going to help us out. I usually start my combo with his skill, followed by a bunch of jump shots. Then his grounded basic attack combo to create a mist and generate mist bullets, until my skill is back up. I cast my skill, then dash through the mist using all of my mist bullets, landing a total of 12 mist bullets. Jump shots, or mid-air attacks, are the best way to deal damage, especially through a mist. But since it uses up stamina, you'll want to do his grounded basic shot combo to generate mist bullets while your stamina is regenerated. For his rotation, I start with Burina for damage buffs, then to Sanhua for a basic attack damage buff, and cast her Echo before using her outro for her Echo's damage buff. And then when we get to Aalto, we do his full combo with his Echo and his burst. I try to do Echo for the damage boost, then his liberation, then his skill, followed by as many jump shots as I can through the mist. Then, when my skill is available again, I dash through the mist to release my collected bullets along with the skill mist bullets, and basically rinse and repeat. Well, that's it for my video. I hope I was able to answer any questions you might have had, and maybe helped you understand how to use Aalto better. I also appreciate all of the great comments and kind words you've been leaving. It makes me so freaking happy. I also love that there are a lot more Aalto mains and lovers out there. Anyway, let me end with my amazing Aalto destroying our Super Saiyan 3-headed ostrich solo. Thanks for watching. Oh, and please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Tiggs from Chill Vibes Gaming. Till next time.
Whee! How's that for a magic trick? Bang! Pleasure doing business. Bang, 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 bang. Hey! Over here. Right back. How's that for a magic trick? Right back. Here. Good time. Lost in the mist of time. Better keep up. Hey, over here. Time to bring out my A game. Right back. Here. Good time. Blink, you miss. How's that for a magic trick? Let the bullets fly. Whee! Blink, you miss. Here. Look at time. Bang. Hey, right back. Lost in the mist of time. How's that for a magic trick? Bang, 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 bang. Getting it close. Right back. Hey, over here. Don't worry, just a trick of the eye.